Hometown Hero, baby. Sideways Gears guys here. I'm Sev, and today I'm going to talk about the Hometown Hero by Burton Snowboards. Well, if you live in a mountain town and your beard's reaching your knees and you have those white streaks of education or experience, this board's for you. If you're familiar with the Burton Flight Attendant or the Skeleton Key, you know, it's like the Flight Attendant was on Tinder, so was the Skeleton Key, and they're flicking around and they finally found a match. And a few years later, they had a little offspring called the Hometown Hero. The best way to explain it, it's as stiff as the Flight Attendant, stiffer than the Skeleton Key, closer to Skeleton Key size, and it's just the in-between of these, which I thought Burton was a little bit confusing this year with their family tree line. It was really hard to identify which one. They're really closely similar, but I gravitated towards this one because I've ridden the Skeleton Key, liked it a lot, rode the Flight Attendant, and I own one as well too, and really enjoy the Flight Attendant. I've ridden it heli days, everything else like that. And so this board caught my eye, and when I went to jump on it, if I hadn't had a Flight Attendant, I'd definitely buy something like this. It was a 56, I own a 59 Flight Attendant, and the big difference between all of them is this guy lives better in the trees and a little stiffer, and he can go a little bit faster than the Skeleton Key, but it doesn't have as smooth as cars as the Flight Attendant. The biggest thing in this guy is it's way better at tree riding than the Flight Attendant. The Flight Attendant isn't bad, it's just doesn't pivot off the back end like the Skeleton Key. The Skeleton Key really pivots off the back end, really nice board. They all have the S rocker, which is camber up to about the inserts or the front channel, and it has a nose rocker in it. You can really load that board up, or load that nose up, and use that forward and aft motion to kind of really draw that nose back and make those like turns through the trees, really drawing it out. And that nice rounded tail being a little bit shorter, touch stiffer. It didn't chatter so much, and it didn't feel like it bounced me around nearly as much as a Flight Attendant in the trees. Almost as good, but not as good as a Skeleton Key, because that's where the stiffness comes into play. Where you kind of give and take here is the Hometown Hero is better at lightning speed than the Skeleton Key ever will, because it's a bit softer, and the Flight Attendant, you can maybe go a touch faster, but if you're really, really wanting to go lightning speed, then get a board like the Flight Attendant. But if you want to like do some more power riding and you're sticking the trees, like if you're in the Peak to Creek at Whistler, I would recommend the Hometown Hero, because you're not sacrificing a whole lot going to a 56 from 59, let's say, in the Flight Attendant, and you're going to get a better top end speed than you are the Skeleton Key, and you're going to get real nice tree riding. And that nose being a little bit stiffer, and generally stiffer and more stiffer all the way around than the Skeleton Key, it will give you a better top speed, and when you hit those side hits, it gives you better feedback, and it really gives you a solid platform. And if you're a guy who likes to ride aggressively but likes to relax, and if you're a guy like myself who likes to ride aggressively like 80-90% of the time, you'd be able to ride this board. It would still stand up if you're not on it the whole time. It never at a point did I feel like the board was riding me a whole lot. I always felt like I was in command of it. And if I had the option, I would definitely purchase this board over the Flight Attendant, in my opinion. I felt a little bit better to where I like to ride the most, which is I like the trees and I like torching it up. And I like having a bit of a board that I can jump. If I see a tasty little like side hit or a little like tree bonk or anything, that's what I like. So that's what I'm gonna choose. And with all these options here, you know what I mean, and your beard isn't too long and you want to grow it and maybe be that Hometown Hero at your home mountain, grab this thing, check it out. You know what I mean? Go to your local board shop, talk to those guys. This board I really found interesting in their lineup, and right away was attracted to it. The other one was a one-hitter. I never got to get on the one-hitter. I've looked at it quite a bit, and I hope to get on it because I wanted to compare these two boards, because if I was looking at any of Burton's lineup, these would be the two that I was taking a look at. I have ridden the Deep Thinker and Free Thinker, and they're quite a bit different than this guy because they're a lot more edgier. They both have way deeper side cuts than the Hometown Hero, and that's where the difference are between the deep thinker, free thinker, and hometown, but the hometown's a nice little blend. You know what I mean? It's the result of a lot of people hooking up over the years with snowboard designs. You know what? The Tinder of snowboard designs. The hometown hero is a definite, you know, the reproduction of all those snowboards and their designs and their history. So go out there, grab one, you know, subscribe. And if you can't find out your local board shop, we have our Advent link down low. Help us support the channel, grow it. We'd like to grow this community and talk about it. So leave your comments and, you know, I mean, get out there and ride, guys. Hopefully you can save some money by listening to the channel on a few boards, finding some good options out there. But mostly, get out there and ride, guys. Well, till next time, Sideways Gear guys, out.